The Gen 4 remakes are finally here, and of course, instead of vibing, I decided to turn this cute and friendly Pokemon game into a walking hellscape where I have to constantly be in fear of chibi overlords who are looking to seek and destroy my cute little pets, aka a hardcore Nuzlocke. For those who don't know what the hardcore rules are, if a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead, you can only catch the first encounter on each route, and we have to play in set mode. And lastly, we can't use items in battle. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we're trying to get 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Also, liking the video helps a huge amount. And without further ado, this is my attempt at a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Hardcore Nuzlocke. Dude, where's my hat? Please. I don't want to be hatless. That's right, we start off our adventure as a hatless loser, and the lack of head protection must be affecting our last two brain cells as we go into the tall grass without any Pokemon. Thankfully though, we have Lockpicking 100 and are able to steal ourselves a Chimchar who makes quick work of the wild Starly. Let me know which tiny animal you stole from an old man in the comments below. After talking to the very dapper chibi Rowan, we name our Chimchar Goku, and finally get our signature hat. Oh BP, you're forgetting something important. Hat, yes! 10 out of 10, best game. We got a hat. We catch a few Pokemon, notably Tesla the Shinx and Laser the Starly. And now, with our new team, it's time to take on Pazu. We start with Goku, who two-shot Starly with an Ember as he brings in Piplup. We then bring in Tesla the Shinx, but while battling, we have a bit of an accident. Drake the Legend. Oh! No, I've spilt mother everywhere. God damn it. Thankfully though, Tesla has this battle locked down, and with enough Thundershocks, Piplup falls, and we are free to catch some more Pokemon. And with Goku evolving, I think it's time to take on Rourke. With Chimchar now learning Power Up Punch at level 12, Rourke is an easy sweep. He starts with Geodude, who falls to 2 Power Up Punches, putting Goku at +2 attack. Next is his Onix, who lives another Power Up Punch on Red and sets up Stealth Rocks. But with one more Power Up Punch, we are at +4 for his Cranidos, who instantly falls to 1 Mach Punch, easily winning us our first badge. While dealing with some Galactic drama, Laser and Tesla evolve, and we force our way through to our first Galactic Commander. And now Mars can be a run ender for sure due to her Perugly. If you've ever watched the second Rocky movie, just imagine the Russian from that and you have a good idea on just how hard this ugly little super soldier can hit. So, of course, we'll need a strategy, and well, I'll let Live BP explain. So our strat is, we start with Tesla, we kill Zubat, we switch into Geodude, we then switch into Starly, into Staravia, and then we switch back into Luxio, and with that gives us 2 Intimidate drops, and then we can switch back into Monferno, I think. T-Shock should just one-shot here. Bam! Why do I speak? Apparently not. U-turn. Well, let's change this thing. I mean, I guess like it doesn't really matter. We're still the same strat. So Perugly. Some more sneak peeks, yeah. And after sufficient Intimidate spam, I bring in Popping the Machop, who brings Perugly to around 60% HP with Revenge. Perugly attacks this time, boosting Revenge's power, so this next one ends the fight. Honestly, Mars can be pretty easy if you have 2 Intimidate Mons and 2 Fighting Mons. We make our way through Eterna Forest and head straight to the second gym to take on Gardenia. She starts off with Cherubi, as I start with Goku, who one-shots her Cherubi with a Flame Wheel. She brings in Turtwig, who barely lives a Flame Wheel, and while she heals, I use a Power Up Punch to boost Goku's attack by 1. The next Flame Wheel finishes off Turtwig, and it's onto her ace Roserade, who actually outspeeds Goku. It does a surprisingly huge chunk of damage with Grass Knot, but Goku retaliates with Flame Wheel, one-shotting Roserade. This gives us a straight shot to Jupiter, but we have the biggest counter for this fight, Boom. Literally, Boom the Geodude. With his access to Bulldoze, this should be an easy fight. She starts with Zubat, as we start with Big Dude Boom, who tanks and absorbs pretty well and one-shots Zubat in return with Smackdown. She brings in a run killer skunk tank who poisons Boom, but he has the Petra berry, so we are instantly cured of the poison and brings skunk tank into half HP, proccing its citrus berry. She poisons us again, but another bulldoze brings skunk tank's speed low enough for Boom to outspeed the next turn and finish it off with one last final bulldoze. Angry evolves into the king of Nuzlocke's Gyarados, and when at Hardhome we run into Pazu again, but I won't be covering these battles until the very last one since he's kind of weak in these games. Now we have to be careful with the level cap here, as both Maylene and Wake is level 30 for the cap, so once we've evolved Poppin and Boom, I box Tesla and Goku as they hit level 30, and with a smaller batch of Pokemon, it's time to take on Maylene. Maylene starts off with Monotype as we start with Popping, who lands a huge knockoff as Monotype sets up Light Screen. She heals and then lands a Drain Punch, but Knockoff ends up taking it out. She brings in our own Machoke as we trade low sweeps, but since Popping took chip damage, we switch into Angry, who gets an Intimidate drop and takes Machoke out with a Waterfall. This brings in our ace Lucario, and she lands a hefty Drain Punch as Waterfall brings Lucario down to around 50% HP. She hits another Drain Punch, which allows her to survive another Waterfall, and I'm pretty sure one more Drain Punch will actually take Angry out, so I bring in Laser to intimidate Lucario, and Laser gets taken down to just 19 HP from Drain Punch. Since I can't take another attack, I decide we have to sacrifice Popping, so I switch him in and let him die for the team. I then bring in Boom with an Intimidate drop. I'm pretty confident he can live a Drain Punch. And thankfully, Boom does live on 26 HP and brings Lucario down to yellow, but more importantly, we get the speed drop with Bulldoze. Though one speed drop isn't enough for Boom to outspeed, so he gets taken out by a Drain Punch. I then bring in Angry, and thanks to Intimidate, Lucario is now down to -2 attack, and we outspeed now thanks to Boom's sacrifice. And Lucario just barely lives as we take another Drain Punch, but Angry lives on 9 HP, and with one last Waterfall, we put an end to Maylene's killing spree. We sadly replace Boom and Popping with Morris the Girafarig and Hat the Shellos, and while in Vale Zone we check out the department store, which has all the TMs from the old game corner at pretty cheap prices, which is a lot easier than the old coin method, so thanks Gambling Lords, you made that pretty easy for me. And with all our adjustments, it's time to take on Wake, and not gonna lie, that chibi dad bod does things to me. I lead with Tesla as Daddy Wake starts with Gyarados, which hits a pretty weak crunch thanks to Intimidate, as Tesla retaliates by one-shotting Gyarados with a Volt Switch. This allows us to bring in Morris, who has Grass Knot, which makes very quick work of Wake's Quagsire. Morris, who is looking to get more blood on his hands, gets flinched by Floatzel, blue balling our poor little giraffe. Since I don't want Morris to burst his load and die, I bring in Angry, who tanks an Ice Fang, and then he hits Angry with a pitiful brine as Crunch procs his Citrus Berry. With our next Crunch, we bring Floatzel into the red, so Wake uses a potion as we use Bulldoze so Angry can outspeed on the next turn and finish this battle off with one last Crunch. It hurts beating such a lovely male specimen, but we have to progress. We quickly stop a terrorist attack, save some Psyducks from the American healthcare system with free medicine, and then we run into Chibi Cyrus, who looks so adorable that I really can't take him seriously, and then during all that, Laser, Hat, and Goku evolve to their final forms, and now it's time for Fantina, the Ghost Gym Leader. We start with Angry as she starts with Drifblim, and we set up a Dragon Dance as she lands a Hex doing very little damage. I set up another Dragon Dance to ensure we outspeed Gengar, as she brings us back down to only +1 attack with Strength Sap. We take out Drifblim with Crunch and take insane damage from Aftermath, and then she brings in her Gengar, and Crunch should be an easy one-shot. Oh, she has a... frick. That's not good. Egg Curse Body 2. With Gengar on red HP, I bring in Morris as she heals it up, and Gengar hits a Confuse Ray, but we break through and land a huge Psychic taking out the troublesome Gengar. She brings in Miss Magius, who does just under half of Morris's HP as we land a Psychic for decent chip. She lands another Dazzling Gleam as Morris snaps out of confusion and lands another Psychic, bringing Miss Magius into the red. And now Morris is close to death and she should be healing, so I think it's a free switch into Hat. But as soon as I send Hat out, I remember she has Magical Leaf, so I have to bring in Infernape straight away to tank the hit. She doesn't have Psybeam anymore, so she confuses Goku, but we break through and land a Flamethrower. I go for another Flamethrower, but we finally hit ourselves, so now it's time to switch into Hat so we can then pivot into Laser, who tanks Magical Leaf a lot better than Dazzling Gleam. She hits a Dazzling Gleam, doing a lot less than I thought, and then we land a critical hit Aerial Ace, ending the 5th gym battle. And honestly, not much happens between Fantina and Byron, so off to the 6th badge. Byron starts with Bronzor as I start with Angry, and I try to one-shot it with Crunch before it can set up a Trick Room, but it's just too bulky and gets it set up anyway, which makes the slowest Pokemon on the field move first. He then sets up Sandstorm as a second Crunch finally takes out his Bronzor. He sends in Steelix, and I know it has an electric type move, so I send out Hat to eat the attack. But on the next turn, we get thrashed by an Earthquake as our Surf brings Steelix down to its Sturdy. We then both use this turn to heal as he uses a full restore and we recover. Hat lands another Surf, proccing his Sturdy again as his Earthquake procs our Berry, and one last Surf puts the stubborn bugger down. He brings in Bastiodon, and knowing it can't really touch Hat, I use this turn to heal back to full HP with recover as Hat eats a Flash Cannon. I land a Surf which almost takes Bastiodon out, but it doesn't matter as the next one finishes it off, and man, Byron just gets destroyed by Gastrodon. We avenge the poor Magikarps by thrashing Saturn and Mars, but eventually, death catches up to you, and there's nothing you can do, and I found that out the hard way. Surely since it's Australian Netflix, it wouldn't troll me. Say goodbye to lady. Oh no. Well, I felt pretty defeated, but Hat would have wanted us to keep going, so in memory of him, we take on the 7th gym. What was her name again? Goku leads the fight as he obliterates Nova with a 4-time super effective flamethrower. She then brings in her Sneasel, so I go for a Mach Punch, but it has a Chople Berry, which halves the damage of super effective fighting moves. So it barely hangs on, but all it does is sets up a Hone Claws and dies the next turn to another Mach Punch. Next up is Medicham, which is a nice high type by the way, so in protest, I hit it with the good old Intimidate spam, and eventually take it out with Laser. This brings in our final Pokemon Abomasnow, so I switch into Goku, who tanks a Blizzard but then instantly one-shots it with a Flamethrower. This win is for you, Hat. We take on Cyrus and Saturn in the Galactic hideout, but once again, these battles are pretty chill, so let's just skip right to Mount Coronet. And man, this guy just had his whole life's work and ultimate dream destroyed, and all I can focus on is these chubby little hands. Cyrus is insecure about his hands, so he challenges us to a battle. We lead with Goku as he leads with Honchkrow, so we have to switch into Tesla, who tanks a crit air cutter and then retaliates with the Spark, which barely misses the KO, but we get the para and then Honchkrow gets fully paralyzed. He uses a full restore as I set up a charge which allows Tesla to one-shot Honchkrow in the next turn. He brings in Gara and it has Earthquake, so it's time for the cheeky Intimidate spam, and eventually we bring in Laser and with enough Aerial Aces we take it out. He then brings in Crobat as he sets up the Tailwind and we hit an Aerial Ace. He then lands a Cross Poison as I Aerial Ace, and his next one leaves Laser at 11 HP as our Aerial Ace leaves Crobat at 1 HP. And I pray that he doesn't have another full restore as I finish Crobat off with a quick attack. And next is his Weavile, and well, when I have Tesla out, he always goes for Dig, so it's pretty easy to switch into Tesla, tank the Aerial Ace, and then to continuously switch between Tesla and my 2 flying type Intimidate spammers. We do this until Weavile is about as threatening as a toddler with no hands, and then we swiftly end its life with a close combat. So I feel kinda scummy because we did Intimidate spam 2 of these Pokemon, but when you can trick the AI, you might as well do it. Now it's time for the super fierce legendary Pokemon Dialga. With all the world-ending shenanigans out of the way, we head to Sunny Shore City. And little did I know that the brightest city in Sinnoh would harbour our darkest hours. Thanks to the EXP share, a bunch of our Pokemon are close to being over the level cap, so we had to box them, which leads to a pretty sad fight. But we've been hardcore. Why? Yeah, when I had Angry out, it didn't use Thunder Punch, so I thought it just didn't have it, but then it Thunder Punched on the Switch, and let's just say I was feeling pretty defeated at this point, had been streaming for 13 hours, and I was very tilted at losing Angry, and I decided not to grind to the level cap, and let's just say it makes things pretty difficult for this next fight. Volkner leads the match with Raichu as I lead with Whoop Whoop the Quagsire. Volkner starts off with a huge crit surf, which brings Quagsire down to just 30 HP as our Bulldoze is weakened by Raichu's Sugar Berry. I doubt we can outspeed still, so I bring in Ivern, who tanks the surf pretty well, and I go for a Bulldoze as Raichu Volt switches out into Ampipom, which gets tickled by our attack. I send in Tesla for the Intimidate drop as Ampipom still does a decent amount of damage with double hit. Now, I was going to switch into Lazy here for a second Intimidate drop, but then I thought, You know what, it's probably just going to spam T-Bolt, and well, I was right. It uses Thunderbolt, allowing us to get a free Thunder Wave off, and we go for a Spark, but it misses the KO and puts it in healing range. So as he heals, I Volt Switch out into Goku, who I thought could knock out Epipom with a Mach Punch, but it has a Chopple Berry. Thankfully though, 2 more Mach Punches finish it off, which brings in his Raichu, and I was pretty confident we outsped, but I don't really want to CC though. Surely Bulldoze kills it. He outspeeds, what? Oh no. Oh god, oh no. Goku, you beast! This is why he's the anime pro tag we all deserve. What? He outspeeds, bro. Just... all I can say. As you can tell, I was losing my mind, but now it's onto his Octillery. And not wanting to lose Goku, I switch into a Morris who avoids the first Octazooka and hits a nasty Thunderbolt, but... damage. Dodge again? No, okay. Yeah. Oh, that was a crit. Yup. With Morris dead, I bring in Goku to avenge him with a close combat, which finishes off Octillery. He then brings in Luxray, so I switch into Tesla for the Intimidate drop, and on the next turn, Tesla barely lives a crunch as we Volt Switch out into Laser, and I'm just praying that close combat is enough to take it out, but it's not even close as we live on 40 HP from a Thunder Fang. And my team is a bit weak to pivot, so I go for a Hail Mary crit on close combat, and... come on, please. Staraptor, you're a failure. And I hate you. Die. Okay, bye Rappi. Ice Fang. Yeah. Okay. I bring in Goku, who finishes off Luxray with a close combat, ending this depressing gym battle. Now, at the start of the stream, I said I wouldn't be using the Underground, but after such a depressing last hour, I untucked my Switch, went into bed, opened up the Underground, and caught the first mons I found in each unique area. And of the 4 Pokemon I caught, I added Haze the Haunchko and Trent the Garchomp to the team, and with these 2 powerhouses, we should be able to take on the Elite Four. Before that though, we face off against Pazu one last time, as he leads with Staraptor and I lead with Tesla. Our Quick Claw activates as we land a Thunderbolt, but Staraptor hangs on thanks to its Focus Sash and returns fire with a pitiful close combat, as the next turn our Quick Claw procs once again and Thunderbolt finishes it off. He brings in Snorlax, so I go for a Volt Switch into Haze, predicting a ground type move, and it works out well as he fails his high horsepower. I go for Night Slash, which pretty much has a 100% crit chance due to Super Luck. Razor Fang and Night Slash is naturally high crit chance. Even so though, Snorlax hangs on and makes Haze drowsy with a yawn. I decide to stay in and finish it off with a Night Slash as Haze falls asleep. He brings in Heracross as I switch into Tesla, who gets an Intimidate drop off and dodges the Rock Slide. We get hit by the next one though, but it does little damage but annoyingly flinches us. Our Quick Claw activates this turn as we Volt Switch out into Whoop Whoop, who avoids the attack. He switches out his Heracross for Roserade as Whoop Whoop lands decent chip into Roserade, and then we switch into Goku as he sets up the grassy terrain. Goku then finishes Roserade off with a Flamethrower, and he sends in his Empoleon, so I switch into Tesla, who eats a Flash Cannon as I Volt Switch, doing around 50%. I then send in Whoop Whoop, who gets charmed, lowering his attack. Empoleon then lands a 4-time super effective grassy terrain boosted Grass Knot, but since Whoop Whoop didn't want to see me cry, he hangs on with 1 HP. What a little machine. But thanks to the charm and grassy terrain, our Earthquake does little damage in return. I bring in Trent, who takes Grass Knot a lot better, and then finishes Empoleon with a Dig. He brings in Rapidash, but it gets taken out by a single Dig, and now it's time for the Elite Four. First up is Aaron, and his bug types get quickly squashed by Goku as we one-shot Dustox, Heracross, Beautifly, Vespiquen, and honestly his last Mondrapion could probably live an attack, so I switch into Whoop Whoop, who gets nailed by a crit Earthquake, but honestly he takes it pretty well as he then tanks a Night Slash and returns the favor with an Earthquake of his own, which brings Drapion into the red. And as Aaron heals with the full restore, I actually land a crit Earthquake, beating the first member of the Elite Four. Next up is Bertha, who starts the match with her own Quagsire, as we start with Ivern, and we land a crit Razor Leaf, which was probably overkill. But then she brings in Sudowoodo, so I switch into Whoop Whoop, who one-shots it with a Scald. She brings in our boy Wishcash, who we Scald for around 40% and then dodge the Bulldoze thanks to Friendship. I bring in Ivern, who tanks an Ice Beam on the switch, and I switch straight back into Whoop Whoop, predicting the Belch. But she uses Bulldoze, and Wishcash outspeeds this turn, landing another Ice Beam as our Earthquake brings it down into the red. Knowing she'll heal, I use this turn to make Wishcash drowsy with Yawn, and then I switch back into Ivern as Wishcash falls asleep. It lives our first Razor Leaf thanks to its Rindo Berry, but after she wastes her full restore, we take it out with our second Razor Leaf. She brings in Golem as Whoop Whoop dodges the Stone Edge on the switch, and then destroys it with a Scald after taking Earthquake. She then brings in her Ace, and I was thinking I could take an Earthquake, so I stay in, but... Let's see how much damage this does. Perfect. If we get the burn too, would be lovely. Nope, no burn. Damn. Earthquake. I don't think this kills. I am trolling, I guess. I bring in Ivern, who outspeeds and avenges Whoop Whoop with a Blizzard, which brings us to Flint. He starts off with White Lens Rapidash, who outspeeds Trent and puts him to sleep, but we wake up thanks to our Chesto Berry, allowing us to set up a sword stance. He then hits an Iron Tail as we go underground, but once Dig lands, it's an easy one-shot. He brings in Lopunny, but it tickles Trent with a high jump kick as we one-shot it back with a Dragon Claw. Next is his Steelix, but it goes down to a single dig, and then he brings in Driftbloom, which outspeeds Trent and burns him with a Will-O-Wisp, halving our attack as our weakened Dragon Claw now only does 50% damage. We're fine. Yes! Please. Holy, that was terrifying. I don't know how we hit that rock slide, but we take those. We take those for shoresies. Now it's down to his last Pokemon, Infernape, so I switch into Tesla for an Intimidate drop, and then Tesla tanks a close combat, and then Bolt switches into Haze, who finishes Flint off with a crit Sucker Punch, bringing us to the Elite Four member I feared most, Lucian. Mr. Mime, Bop, Mimers. Okay, if we get a crit with Night Slash with Super Luck, plus Black Glasses, surely it would be enough to knock it out. Light Screens, fantastic. Night Slash. Huge, 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 dude. Honchkrow the bees. Let's go. We're bringing Tesla. I really want to be T-bolted to the face, to be honest. This guy's just out here trying to be this guy's out here just trying to counter Honchkrow, dude. T-bolt. Trick Room. I think that's better for us, in all honesty. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, well, never mind. Very slow Pokemon, apparently. Okay, Crunch. Crunch. Not very much damage, huh? Quick Claw now, though? No, okay, Smooch. Psychic. Ugh. Tesla's not enjoying it, but, you know, it's alright. Okay, easy KO. Metacham would outspeed us. 1 sec. I'm gonna Volt Switch. He has a very slow Medicham. Confident Acrobatics takes out then. Yep, okay, fantastic. I don't know how much losing Luxray it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks because we can't intimidate Garchomp, but other than that, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Alaka's Biome. There we go. Easy Oko, fantastic. Night Slash. Huge, dude. Nice, lovely crit. Cynthia leads with Spiritomb as I lead with Haze, who procs her Citrus Berry straight away with a crit Night Slash. Spiritomb then does about a third of Haze's HP with a Shadow Ball, and we land another crit Night Slash, barely missing the KO, as she lands yet another Shadow Ball. Cynthia then uses a full restore as we land yet another crit Night Slash, doing a bit over half of Spiritomb's HP. And with one more Night Slash crit, we take it out. She brings in Milotic, so I switch into Ivern, who loses about a quarter of his HP to Ice Beam. Her Milotic then gets burnt by a Flame Orb, and she lands another nasty Ice Beam, proccing our Citrus Berry, as Ivern does solid damage with Grass Knot. We tank another Ice Beam, surviving on 68 HP, as one last Grass Knot takes her out. Cynthia then sends in Roserade, and since I can't really afford anyone else taking damage, I switch into Haze and let him die so we can get a free switch into Goku, who one-shots Roserade with Flamethrower. She then brings in Hat 2 as we switch into Ivern, who lives a Rock Tomb at just 16 HP. Sadly though, Grass Knot isn't enough to take out Hat 2, as it finishes Ivern off with a Rock Tomb. I bring in Trent, and I know she should heal here, so I go for a Swords Dance. Now at +2, Trent's Dragon Claw hits hard but not hard enough as it survives and lowers our speed with a Rock Tomb. But we still add speed and finish it off with another Dragon Claw. She brings in Lucario as we get a Quick Claw proc, avoiding any damage. Not that it mattered since she just sets up a nasty plot and Dig takes her out on the next turn. This leaves it to just a battle of dragons as I pray we get a Quick Claw proc, but we don't. But Trent actually lives a Dragon Claw and retaliates with his own, one-shotting Cynthia's Garchomp, and with Rough Screen procced, Trent falls, leaving Goku as the only survivor. And that's how I beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Brilliant Diamond. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. If you did enjoy, hit that like button. It's like a YouTuber's secret weapon against the algorithm. It really helps out. And if you guys did join the stream at all, thank you all for coming. I'm sorry I didn't stream the Elite Four. I was just so wrecked after the 13-hour stream. I think last longest stream was like 3 hours. So, you know, we kind of beat a record there. And yeah. Thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. I don't actually think I said it in a video yet, but it's actually insane. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, expect more Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl runs. It was actually a lot of fun. The Elite Four definitely seems more challenging than other games, especially Cynthia. You didn't see it here, but some of those items really come into effect for, like, you know, if you're using some physical mons against Milotic and stuff like that. She's actually kind of insane. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do some more Brilliant Diamond runs. I'm thinking a monotype run and a Shiny Dream Team video or something like that. And I should be streaming here on the YouTube channel soon, doing some more shiny hunting on Brilliant Diamond for those starters. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a lovely day and you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.